Question 362. Why do Jews celebrate the Sabbath?
The Sabbath is for the people of Israel the great sign commemorating God, the Creator and Redeemer. The Sabbath recalls in the first place the seventh day of creation, when God rested and was refreshed. Exodus chapter 31, verse 17. So, this authorizes all men to interrupt their work and replenish their energies, in a manner of speaking. In Orthodox Judaism, the Sabbath begins at sundown on Friday evening and continues to sundown on Saturday evening. Even slaves were supposed to be allowed to observe the Sabbath. This recalls the second greatest commemorative sign, the liberation of Israel from slavery in Egypt. You shall remember that you yourself were a servant in the land of Egypt. Deuteronomy chapter 5, verse 15. The Sabbath is therefore a feast of human freedom. On the Sabbath, all breathe freely, and the division of the world into masters and slaves is abolished. In traditional Judaism, this day of freedom and rest is also a sort of foretaste of the world to come.
Question 363. How does Jesus deal with the Sabbath?
Jesus observes the Sabbath, but at the same time, he deals with it very liberally, as one who has complete command over it. The Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath. Mark chapter 2, verse 27. Jesus did observe the Sabbath, but did good deeds like healing the sick and bringing the dead back to life on the Sabbath. According to the law in the book of Exodus, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. In it you shall not do any work. Doing good deeds were considered work if you interpreted the law strictly. So, this caused a problem for the Jewish authorities at that time. The fact that Jesus claims the right to heal on the Sabbath and to interpret the law with mercy poses a dilemma for his Jewish contemporaries. Either Jesus is the Messiah sent by God, which makes him Lord even of the Sabbath, Mark chapter 2, verse 28, or else he is merely a man, in which case his actions on the Sabbath are a sin against the law.
Question 364. Why do Christians replace the Sabbath with Sunday?
Christians replaced the celebration of the Sabbath with the celebration of Sunday, because Jesus Christ rose from the dead on a Sunday. The Lord's Day, however, does include elements of the Sabbath. The Christian Sunday has three essential elements. The first element of the Christian Sunday recalls the creation of the world. So we celebrate the splendor of God's goodness throughout all time. The second element recalls the eighth day of creation, when the world was made new in Christ through his passion and resurrection. This is why there is a prayer from the Easter Vigil that says, "You have wonderfully created man, and even more wonderfully restored him." What does the term restored mean? Remember the fall when Adam and Eve became enslaved by sin and death? When Jesus rose from the dead, he freed them from sin and death and also freed us as well. That's how we were restored. The third element includes the theme of rest, not just to sanctify the interruption of work, but to point even now toward man's eternal rest in God. It is important to rest from work, but also to remember the destination of our future is to prepare to be with God in heaven.
Hi, I'm Katie Locus. This is my sign name. I'm from the Archdiocese of Kansas City in Kansas. Thank you so much for watching our video this week. Hope to see you again next week. Bye!